Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Google Digital Garage this morning and our session on Get Started with Live Streaming. So welcome along, everybody, to this live webinar this morning. Got a great 45 minutes ahead. My name is Glenn, and I'm a trainer for Google's free skills training program, Google Digital Garage. So I'm an experienced digital skills trainer, and I've got quite an extensive background in management and consulting and really helping businesses identify opportunities to grow. Getting started with live streaming fits into that nicely. There's been such a change in the overall digital environment since COVID, which we're going to be covering as we work through this module, and you'll start to see some of the advantages that live streaming can bring to your business as well. And of course, it's great fun too. Now, I'm not on my own this morning. I am also joined by, in the chat, hopefully you've found that already, by the wonderful Kirsty, who's going to be the moderator for the session. So Kirsty's going to be in the chat throughout the session. You can see her, Kirsty K, and she's also got a little blue spanner by the side of her name. So please do interact with Kirsty, pop into chat and say hello, say hi, let us know where you are viewing from today. That would be really, really good. And ask questions as we work through the module. We are going to have a few pauses for questions as we work through. Kirsty will be answering most of those for you, but there may be an opportunity for me to answer a couple of those live as we work through as well. So look forward to those. Now, this session, Get Started with Live Streaming, is part of a much broader range of modules that are available on the Google Digital Garage site. That's g.co/digital garage. It's probably where you booked up for this session already today. So if you go back in there, there's going to be lots of opportunities to help you grow in lots of digitally related areas: digital marketing, self-promotion, getting your CV and a cover letter together, social media strategies. There are lots and lots of topics to really help you progress and to keep up with all of the latest trends. So please do go in. That's g.co/digital garage. Sign up for as many of those as you would like to sign up for, and as many times as you'd like to. This is a good time to also mention that this session will be live on the link you came in on for approximately the next 24 hours. So if there are any areas that you want to revisit, you have a full opportunity to do so. Okay, so without further ado, actually, one thing I do need to mention, of course, if you are having any difficulties with sound or with vision, so hearing me or seeing me on the screen, then please do refresh your browser. That should hopefully fix any problems you're experiencing. This is a live stream, so sometimes these things just need to be refreshed. So refresh your browser. That should bring everything straight back into focus for you. And also, if you're thinking, well, I can't see a chat function anywhere, then you might just need to sign into your YouTube account. So sign into your YouTube account. That should open up the chat function for you. If you haven't got a YouTube account at this point, you can sign up for one very, very quickly with minimal detail and come straight back into the stream. Again, that will allow you to save things into your history if you're watching them on YouTube. Really useful to have a YouTube account to enable you to do that, and that helps you to come back to the stream if you want to, again, as we mentioned, within the next 24 hours or so. So without further ado, now definitely let's move on and have a look at what we're going to be covering in the session this morning in relation to live streaming. So we're going to be looking at the tools and services that we can stream on. We're going to be learning about live streaming overall, give it some context, look at the value that it can actually add. We're going to look at some of those tools and some of the services that are out there that you might already be using, you might not yet be aware of. So we'll run through some of those to give you the scope of what's available out there. And then lastly, we're going to be setting up our live stream to make sure that we're covering all of the fundamentals, making sure that we can provide a really good service for our potential audience and our viewers, and making sure that we're doing a really good job and producing a great live session. Now, before we do move into the content, there's one more thing that I want to remind you of. There's an excellent service available, which is free one-to-one mentoring, which, as you can see from the screen there, is available from Google. So if you work for a small business or a charity that's based in the UK, then you can sign up for this mentoring service at g.co/UK mentoring. It's a really, really great service. myself and Kirsty are part of this mentoring service, and it's got some really great, had some really great results, really great output over time. You will get an hour's one-to-one session with a mentor. You can discuss any of the particular digital issues that you're experiencing at the moment, or any ideas that you have for you and for your business to help move them forward. And of course, it's tailored towards you and your business because it's a private session rather than being generally based. So please do give that some thought. Please do sign up. That would be fantastic. g.co/UK mentoring, and Kirsty will be sharing the link for you in the chat for that as well. So sign up at your leisure, really, and we hope to see you there. Okay, so as we move into the session now, I've got a question for you. Again, this is one for the chat, so please let us know, let us have your answers. Why did you decide to join today's session? What's brought you here? What's led you to have an interest in the potential of live streaming? You know, one of the things that is going to be interesting, I'm sure Kirsty can share any responses that you leave in the chat for me on our shared document here, is one thing I think that's really, really important is live streaming has the power of uniting individuals across different cities and continents, you know, across the world. It's a potentially global enterprise. If you're part of YouTube and you've seen some live streams, then it doesn't matter where you're tuning in from, you know, building this community, being part of a community and having that instant access to information and updates can be a really exciting thing. So because I'm a little bit ahead of you on the live stream, I will wait and probably just wait a few seconds. If I don't see anything come through just as of yet, I will then continue on with the session and I'll pick up on a few of your answers as we work through. So I can't see anything coming through as of yet. So I will move into the first section of the session, which is what is live streaming? So this is another question for you. And again, I can pick up on some of your responses as we work our way through. Have you tried live streaming before? So we've asked what's brought you here, what's your interest in live streaming, what's brought you to imagine this could be a good beneficial enterprise for you. And also now, have you tried live streaming before? We want to understand where you are with this. If you've had any experiences, let us know your experiences. We're always keen to know what they are. Yeah, an overview, where you are, if you've tried it before, how it works for you, any particular difficulties perhaps that you might have had at the time. We'd love to know what they are, and hopefully we can work through some of those. And we do have a response coming in. Excellent stuff. So RKJA, I'm a wedding organizer and photographer, and during the pandemic, we need to live stream weddings. So I want to have some insight about this topic. Okay, perfect. Yeah, the pandemic has had a really big impact on how some things could or couldn't be done based on restrictions and lockdown rules at the time. I know that over the world at the moment, there are differing levels of restrictions still in place. So thank you so much for your response. We've also got the Mr. K, JAL, yes, I have tried with OBS. So OBS, yes, that is a very popular platform. So you have tried it before. Fantastic. Thank you. Okay. Adam Ree, I've joined this session today to accomplish skills with creating videos for potential remote jobs. Okay, Adam, that's a really, really good response. Thank you. And again, on the live streaming element, we should have a few tips for you to help you to achieve that. And Mohammed Sale, I'm in marketing in an automotive company in Kuwait and a photographer. All right, fantastic. Thanks, everybody. Really good to see you all. Let's get on with the session now. So, as I mentioned before, COVID-19 had a massive impact on consumer behavior. And as you can see from the stats on the screen, that there was a 51% increase in the use of streaming services worldwide. It gave people that ability to connect, which was all important when we couldn't go out, when we weren't having the same meetings we were having at work, that sort of thing. You know, it gave us an ability to connect and be there and be in the moment. Now, that's also coupled with a 39% rise in streaming in the UK overall. So a massive percentage rise there. And that was also alongside a 40% rise in social media usage in the UK as well. So it provided lots and lots of opportunities for people to stay connected when they weren't able to meet face to face and get out there and live the lives that I think most of us were used to living. Luckily, we had all of this technology in the background to help us to stay connected and to make things work as almost as normally as we possibly could. Of course, there were some differences. Of course, there were lots of things to get used to, new ways of doing things, but we still managed to impact and keep that communication level open that we really, really needed in order to function as people and also as a society. So connecting with live stream, it's an ability to hold events, connect with our community a lot better. You can increase your audience engagement. You will see as we work through this session today, we're asking you to interact with us in the chat function. There are ways to interact with your audience, connect people together, build a strong community. So no matter what your business actually is, live streaming is a great way to hold engaging events, keeping people really, really riveted at a low cost. And again, that can be an important factor, the low cost element. You can do fitness, you can do online learning. I do lots of courses, and again, lots of those can be live webinars and interactive sessions. There are lots of community groups that are out there on some of the social media platforms, book clubs and groups for us to connect with and keep our interests active and keep us dynamic and keeping moving forward. And you can also do, and I've been part of these, lectures from schools or universities, or even tutoring classes. So you can hold topical current event communication events. You can also let people know how your brand relates to the events that you're running and really build that brand, protect your brand and strengthen it, getting people to understand that you're there, you're really up to date and really, really topical. Live streams can often be seen to be really topical issues. Now you can communicate and get your feedback live as well. Another great advantage, you're able to drop your comments in the chat like you are today and let us know how things are going and let us know your input and answer the questions that we're asking as well. And it helps us to build trust. It's really authentic. You're there, you're live, you're on the spot, and you're doing everything you can to engage, relate to, and interact with your audience. And that's, as it says there, really, really good when you're blending that with your authentic content, when you're really, really working on that day at that level in the moment. So why are we going to live stream? Well, we can diversify our audience. We can appeal to lots and lots of people. It gives us the opportunity to connect with people who might not have known about us and our brand. We can engage in real time, so we can have those direct conversations, as we've been saying, and we can learn about the likes and frustrations, just in the way that I've been asking you the questions this morning as well. As we mentioned, being authentic has been really, really important too. You can express your brand. You can let people understand why you're so passionate about a topic by talking about it, by them seeing the smile on your face, the look of the energy that you can portray in your eyes as well as you talk through the things that really, really interest you. You can connect with your audiences there. Another great way, again, to grow an audience, to grow some brand loyalty, to get people to connect with you, to get people want to know more about you. You engage your followers and you provide them with some great content. You provide them with that food for thought, those things to reflect on once the session's actually finished. And as I mentioned before, very, very cost-effective way of doing it. Hiring a hall or a venue, getting people in, transport costs, equipment costs, they can all mount up. So if cost is a barrier to you, then you can actually increase your revenue overall if you're charging for the session that you're actually running. Because if you're running it online, you need an internet connection, you need equipment to adequately run your session, of course. But again, this can save you time and money because you're focused and set in one place to bring in your audience, to market yourself, to market your event in a pretty cheap and cost efficient way. So it's a good way to bring in leads, to get yourself some lead generation and to generate that audience growth, because you can spread and advertise your functions, your events over your social media channels, for example, on your website, whatever internet infrastructure you actually have, and get people to engage with you in that way. So there's our introduction into live streaming, some of the benefits that are going to make it a very effective way for us to communicate with our audience. I'm just having a look through. There's no questions that have come through at the moment, no problem at all. There's going to be a couple more opportunities for us to answer some questions as we work through the module anyway. So I will move into section 2. We're going to discover our live streaming tools and the services. And now that comes back to the question that we asked previously. So the live streaming platforms that you're familiar with. So you've already answered, we had one response back in terms of OBS, which is I think it's called the Open Broadcast Service, which is a very, very popular broadcasting open source, so that's free to use platform, very, very popular with streamers, with gamers who are able then to integrate themselves, demonstrate what they're doing. You can play games. You can also give yourself some branded backgrounds so that you look really, really professional in the endeavor that you want to stream live to your audience. So there are lots and lots of functionality and detail that you can incorporate if you use the platforms similar to OBS. If there's any other platforms that you're aware of, then please do let us know. Pop them into chat and Kirsty can then pass them over to me. And again, I'll bring them up as we run through. Okay, so let's think about what we need to consider when we're choosing our platform. You've tried OBS, I can see. I just wonder what considerations you put into place that made you choose OBS. Maybe it was because it's a free, high functionality platform. So we have to think about overall, when we're choosing our platform, that, you know, as with any other type of service, some platforms are going to be more suitable than others, depending on the type of event that it is that you want to run. You know, it's important to choose one that works well for the service you're trying to provide, as well as your audience. And your audience clearly is going to be an important factor, because you want them to be able to connect with you, get onto that system as easily as they possibly can. So consider your pros and cons with your audience and your business needs in mind. You know, think about things like what you want to actually achieve from the stream. And also identify and work on the platforms that your audience are actually active on anyway. So what social media platforms do they use? Are you going to use a streaming service that is linked to a social media platform, for example? All of these things can help impact positively on the user experience overall and make your stream even more effective. Now, when you're going through your evaluation and you're starting to choose your platform, ask yourself a few questions. Excuse me. Do you need to schedule your sessions in advance so that, again, you can market them, get them out there and get people to sign up? Do you need to record your session? That could be important too, in terms of perhaps providing people with the recording, thus giving them the ability to play it back. Is your audience comfortable with accessing live streams? So think about the general, perhaps competency levels and internet savviness of your audience as well. Think about what devices will people be joining from. Is that going to be their laptop, their tablet, their smartphone? Again, accessibility can also change our enjoyment of a particular service. What level of audience engagement do you need? So are you looking for interaction? Are you looking for people to be able to contribute and speak over a microphone or come on camera? Again, some services will accommodate that very easily, more than others. And also, I think it's also quite a good thing to consider, how many people potentially do you think you're actually going to get? All of these types of considerations will help you to choose the platform that's right for you. It means you need to go into each of the platform's websites, look at the functionality that's available via those websites, and make sure that you're choosing something that gives you the opportunity to really succeed in the live stream that you're planning. Okay, I've got some input. Thank you so much from Mr. KJAI. And that is, so in terms of the streaming platforms that you use or you're aware of, we've got YouTube, yes, very, very popular indeed. Twitch, extremely popular, again, on a quite predominantly on a gaming basis. Restream, Yes, indeed. So there are lots and lots. There are also platforms like StreamYard. There are many, many that are now coming into play. Again, different functionalities. So well worth checking all of those out to see which one's going to work well for you. So as you can see, we want to make sure that we're checking all of the areas that we've got highlighted on the screen and making sure that it's going to work not only for us and our abilities, but also for what our audience can achieve and their level of competency too. So when we're selecting our platform, we want to have a look and bring into play again some of the considerations we can see on screen. Our audience demographic, who your audience are, what platforms they're on. The platform functionality. When you schedule your live broadcast, you might need to post an announcement post that might get published through to a page on your website, or through to let people know that they have an upcoming live stream. Maybe they're going to get an email giving them a reminder. The interactivity is a really important part too. Incorporating polling features. Sometimes during these sessions, you can run a poll, get some immediate answers. Maybe that's what part of the country are you tuning in from, or what platforms out of the lists that we've got here are you already using. It gives that great interactivity, answering those questions immediately. So that can be important too. Now, we sometimes need to think about incorporating a database of users and understanding where they are and how you're going to interact with them to keep them informed of your event, how that's going to work for them, how that's going to work for you. Keeping your audience really up to date with any changes to schedule can be an important thing to think about too. Now, what type of equipment are you going to need also is a great consideration. Do you need a mobile phone if you're going to go through one of the social platforms such as Instagram or Facebook? You can work quite well, perhaps on a smart device there. Or if you're going for a slightly higher end platform that needs more functionality, are you going to need to be thinking about a working camera and a decent microphone? If you're looking at working perhaps on YouTube, you might need a webcam, you might need an external mic, and potentially you might need an extra source of lighting to make sure that you're well illuminated whilst you're broadcasting. So there are lots and lots of considerations, and if you work systematically through some of these considerations, then you're more likely to succeed and more likely to, for all of the effort that you're going to be putting into planning this live stream, get the results out at the end and achieve the goals that you've set for your particular live stream. So we can also leverage social media to go live. Again, a perfect platform, a perfect set of platforms to really help us to increase our brand awareness, to reach new audiences, but also, again, to give people up-to-date engagement elements to do with your live stream. You can build up excitement. You can build up the tension. We're about to go live. So alert followers when you're about to go live. Yeah, we've got 5 minutes to go. We've got half an hour to go. Get yourselves a pen and paper ready, get yourselves prepared, get your questions ready, that sort of thing. So, using social media can be a really great way to go. As we saw on the previous slide, social media usage has increased by about 40% since the COVID-19 lockdown. So this really has upped people's ability to interact and to be looking out for those notifications and for those alerts. Now, you can use your live stream on social media also to promote your products with your followers. You can do demos, tutorials, teasers, all those launch announcements. So you've got lots and lots of scope on the material that you can actually cover. You can also create those posts and schedule and put into the calendar to make sure that people are aware, so that you're getting that notification out there, keeping people, as I say, hungry for your content. You could perhaps show some behind the scene clips of your services and integrate those in with your live stream to give that real kind of live TV effect. And you can also engage in real time with your followers when they're perhaps sending likes and comments through. There are lots of examples online of live demos, people just commenting, and literally the comments are just flooding down the screen as the users are getting involved. Now, you can reach particularly large audiences with video as well. Some platforms offer video conferencing features. You can have your audience participate in those conversations, those massive floods through of chats where everyone's getting involved and having a really good time. It's also quite useful on some of the platforms that you can actually see your audience too. This is great for instructional demos and activities as well. So that can be quite handy. As we're doing here, we can use the live chat functions to engage conversation and get feedback as we're working our way through. So platforms, as I mentioned, it's really a good thing to understand, as you can see from the screen. What is it that I want to get from my live stream, and what elements do I need to think about to make sure that my audience is getting everything that it needs from the platform and from my presentation too. Now, let's make our live streams interactive, as you can see, and as we're doing today, and thank you so much everybody for contributing so far, is you can have live chat features. On some platforms, you get that virtual hand raising where you can just say, I'd like to chip in, which allows then the host to allow you to do so. You can then create those polls, so those quick questions, answer now, get results up almost immediately on some of those. You can utilize breakout rooms. So if you're perhaps working in groups, you can put people into different groups, get them to perform different tasks, bring them all back into the main room, and then start to get feedback as the groups have worked together. Really good function. That used that one many times myself. And as we said as well, just utilize the chat function to keep people engaged and understand where they are in the session at any given point. So fantastic, and we're going to move through to the next pause for questions. Just let me have a look to see if anything's come in. So we do have a question come in from Ikatma. Except for the fact that you work for Google and YouTube is theirs, what are the benefits of using YouTube for this live streaming event, or one similar? Okay, well, the reason that you'd be choosing YouTube, one of the reasons that I use and love YouTube as a platform because it is so accessible. It's so easy to use. It has a great set of features and functionality. And it's got worldwide global access. You know, if you're looking to promote a brand, then YouTube, I think, is one of the best examples because it's one of the most used. It's the world's second largest search engine behind Google as a search engine too. So your ability to potentially be found by like-minded people, your ability to really build that community, to work with others of similar mind, because of the amount of users on YouTube and because of the amount of content on YouTube, you know, it's astronomical. It's absolutely huge. You clearly could not watch every YouTube video that's been uploaded in this lifetime or multiple lifetimes. So the amount of content out there is fantastic. And again, it would make your mind boggle, I think, to understand how long it would actually take to watch everything on YouTube. It just wouldn't be possible at all. So therefore, I think that your ability to grow your brand and to reach your potential audience, your customers, is absolutely huge on YouTube. That's why I use it. And again, perhaps that's why a lot of good and large providers use YouTube too, because of its accessibility. You know, your sign up functions are very, very quick. There's a whole load of benefits, I think, to using platforms like YouTube. So I hope that answers your question, and thank you very much indeed for that. Now, we've only got about 15 minutes to go on this 45-minute session. So on that basis, I'm going to move now into the next section, which is setting up a live stream. So let's think about how we're going to do this. We need to get started. So we're going to have a checklist, as you can see on the screen. So in order for us to get started, we need to go right back to the beginning again. Think about what we need to make this effective, to make it look good, to make it look as professional as we possibly can, which means it will be as enticing as it possibly can be for your audience. That's the key. Your audience, of course, are always the key because you want them to engage. You want them to come back. So think about your equipment. We need lights. I'm using a couple of extra lights, although it's quite bright in here today. The lights give you that extra accent. They make sure things you can be seeing really, really clearly, and that you are focusing on what you want your audience to see. So we've got lights, we've got camera, and we've got technology. Now, we do need, obviously, in terms of an internet connection, a stable connection to suit the type of content that we're going to be using and the quality we'd like to produce. So it may well be worth you checking what your upload speeds are on your internet connection, and maybe upping those if you're having any difficulties in getting a good quality upload of your content. Now, you may well need to think about the software that you're using, those encoders, those things like OBS, or internet-based things like StreamYard and Restream. Again, lots of options. Do your research on those platforms, and then set yourself up. Think about the space that you have. Think about making sure that you can do this in a comfortable way. If you're going to be live streaming, you're going to be talking, you're going to be presenting, you want to be as comfortable as you possibly can. That could be like a good chair, good lighting, good camera, good microphone, when you don't have to think about the equipment and whether it's working well whilst you're actually presenting. That gives you the ability to actually just focus on the presentation that you're making. So think about the sound, the space that you have, and as I've mentioned a couple of times, that all-important lighting. So what equipment do we need? Well, again, maybe you're going to start small, use your smart device to get yourself going. That's fine. It's going to work pretty well. But as you build up, and maybe as you build up your confidence and your competency, you might think about getting a webcam. Now, laptops come with decent webcams a lot of the time. If you do need a higher resolution webcam, then you can find affordable options online. Again, look, do you need 720 resolution? Do you need 1080p for HD? Think about what you'd like to provide. There are accessible and affordable options online. Now, as I mentioned, you can use your smartphone camera if you want to. Initially, they do come with great cameras, and so you could start there and see how that quality works for you. You could use a point and shoot camera. Again, there's a lot of things you can now connect up to your computers and to your laptops. You can use a DSLR to give you almost that cinematic quality too. Depends what you need, depends what you need to achieve. Now, good sound is really, really important. Good sound is an absolute must. Imperfect lighting can be overlooked on occasion, but sound quality is critical. You want to be clear, you want to be crisp. There are a lot of affordable external mics that you can buy as well. Most smartphones come with headphones and mics, so you could use your headphones for better sound quality, and again, to keep yourself in tune and to see how crisp you're actually coming through. Now, natural lighting is important. You can get a good source of natural lighting if you're perhaps near windows, but if not, get some artificial lighting, some arc lights, some LED lights to enhance the visual quality of your stream. It does make a massive difference. You can get camera mounted lights, you can get LED lights, again at reasonable prices. You can also, there are just a number of options. If you go onto some of the big marketplaces and just type in LED lights or ring lights, you're going to find a number of options starting at reasonably low prices. Just make sure that they work for you and they illuminate the areas that you need to be illuminated. So also checking your internet speed is an important area, an important thing to think about. Now, there are quite a few services online that you can do. You can go to google.com, search for internet speed test. You could click and run then that run speed test and see again what your download speeds are like and what your upload speeds are like. Then that's going to, and if you do that consistently, by the way, just to see what your range is like at different times of day, because again, it can alter. One of the best ways is to connect up with an Ethernet cable, if that's possible. That gives you that consistent connection through to your router rather than being reliant on the Wi-Fi speeds. But test your internet connection to make sure it's providing you with the strength and power of an internet connection that you need. Now, software there to help you stream. An encoder, as it says on screen, helps to convert your content into a digital format to stream on YouTube Live. So picking the best encoder depends on your needs. Some things that you're going to be sharing could be more processor in terms of your laptop or your computer, more processor intensive than others. You might be needing to share your screen or broadcast your gameplay, as it says there. So you might need to think about how advanced your production actually is. Do you need multiple cameras? Are you going to be streaming multiple cameras rather than singular cameras? Are you going to need multiple inputs? If you're running podcasts, you're going to need to be perhaps incorporating more than one microphone if you've got guests and guest speakers. So there are some which are YouTube Live verified. These are not made by YouTube, but they are compatible. Is OBS, that's Open Broadcaster Software. There's a platform called Stage 10. There's Streamlabs OBS, XSplit Broadcaster, XSplit Gamecaster, Wirecast XG. There are many, many of these services available. And as I say, research is your friend here. Even if you go onto YouTube and ask for a product, type in and search for a product demo of OBS or Stage 10 or Streamlabs, you'll see people working through the functionality, and that might be able to help you to understand what's going to work for you. So again, as a recap there, think about your lighting, think about the space that you have to make yourself feel comfortable and feel at ease while you're broadcasting, and think about creating that great sound. Bring all of these elements together, and they're going to really benefit you, and they're going to give you that confidence as you're broadcasting your live stream. So plan your content, identify the goal, what you want out of the session, what you're trying to achieve. Think about what you want people to take away from that session at the end, the things you want them to be thinking about, the things you want them to recap on, the things that you want them to do. So use your content to guide your flow. Think about your flow. Think about how you're moving from section to section, making it as seamless as you possibly can. So some pre-production tips to help all of that, to bring it all together. Run a just rehearsal. Don't go live straight away. Practice, practice, practice. Practice will help with your confidence greatly anyway, and it will help you see if sections and the things you're covering do flow into each other. Schedule your sessions out so you know when you're doing them, that you're planned and that you're ready and you're prepared. Share with care. Be mindful about what you mean to share. Close any particular tabs on your screen that you don't want people to see, that you don't think about the things that you do want people to see, but also think about the things that you don't want people to see too. And also a great tip here is that when you close down a lot of tabs, then you increase and help your bandwidth. Having a lot of tabs open on your browser can be very, very memory consuming. And then you're ready to go. You're set up. You've got a really, really good environment. You've tested your tech and you've done a good dry run. You're ready. You're confident. It's all working. Lights, camera, action. Fantastic. Off you go. You're ready to start. Okay, so again, this is one for you. Share some feedback on your YouTube live experience today. What do you think about the interactivity that we've got? What do you think about utilizing those chat functions? Let us know how you're getting on and how that's working for you. That could be important when you're planning your own stream as well. So let us know, and I'll pick up a couple of those comments soon. Let's have a look at YouTube Live. So you can create a watch page for your live streams. You can feature your live stream as your channel trailer. So if you've got a nice YouTube channel, then you can feature your live stream, your trailer. People can watch it almost like the trailers that you can watch on some of the bigger kind of film streaming networks and platforms that you get out there, like Amazon Prime or Netflix, Now TV, that sort of thing. You can show trailers. How cool is that? Really bringing yourself into the world of broadcasting and giving yourself that professional feel. Promote your live stream on stories if you're using social media. Each story is going to last for a particular amount of time. It gives people that immediacy, and then you can keep updating your content, giving different excerpts, again, building up people's anticipation. And also you can create eye-catching thumbnails. So attract attention for your upcoming streams with visuals and subtitles. You can use text on images, and you can draw attention to key information, all relating to your live stream too. So there's a couple of great links there, which I'll ask Kirsty to share, which is support.google.com/YouTube. endless information about YouTube and some of the complexities and some of the benefits and some of the great ways to use it. And then creatoracademy.youtube.com. That is a really great site too for about planning your live stream, making sure you're prepared, and all of the considerations that we've been talking about today and more. Okay, so setting up on YouTube Live, quite a simple process. We're going to run through this fairly quickly. We're going to sign in with our email. We're going to verify our account, enter our live stream details, and go live. It is as simple as that. So we want to verify our YouTube account. There's a couple of steps that we can do that. There are a couple of ways that you can achieve that. You can get an automated voice message, or you can get a text message through. Then when we go live, you can create and then go live. You get into Creator Studio, you can upload your videos, you can go live, all in a couple of clicks of a button. Very, very easy to do, which we're going to cover in the next couple of slides. So again, support.google.com/YouTube is a great link in terms of helping you set up your YouTube account if you want to run through the steps before you do get involved. Now, when you're ready to go live, there's a few steps that you need to take. You're going to need to create a title for your live stream and adjust it to public so that people can actually see it. You have different levels of privacy that you can work through and understand. You can schedule it for later. You can also add age restrictions if those are necessary. So then that gives you the ability to check your webcam's working. So edit your title. You can set your category to make sure that that is set and that people in that category are going to be aware of your video. And then finally, you're able to actually go live. So when you're in stream, some tips that we can run through: respond to comments live. As I'm talking and speaking with you here, but Kirsty's there, she's interacting with you straight away. So having a moderator can be really, really useful. You can monitor your stream with an external display off to the side, maybe just to check that it's running as you need it to run and to potentially spot any glitches as they come up. You can use your on-screen text, but also be consistent. Go live if you're going to be doing this time and time again at a regular time. Consistency in your schedule makes it easier to market, and it also gives your audience the ability to understand when you're going to be online, when you're not, and it kind of again helps to build up that anticipation. Every Monday night at 8 o'clock, you know that so-and-so is going to go live. Your favorite channel is going to go live. You're going to be there at 8 o'clock at that time. Audiences do appreciate structure and reliability. Now you can track your success via your live stream analytics. You can track your subscribers, and you can start to then set yourself more goals. You can see how many people have been there, how long they're watching for, are they watching all the way through? And then you can start to gauge what's working at particular times in your live streams and what you might need to improve on as well. So on best practices, again, please go through to the Creator Academy. And there's also a great link there, thinkwithgoogle.com, hosting virtual events, which I'll ask Kirsty to share if she wouldn't mind. That will then help you to really build your competency and work strongly to get those live streams, achieving your goals, your business goals, moving you forward and getting you really seen and understood by your audience. So final pause for questions. I can't see that any have actually come in at the moment. So Kirsty must be answering all of those in the chat. Again, the power of interactivity. That's absolutely fantastic. Okay, yeah, I think Kirsty's going to finish answering off any last questions that we've got. We are moving into the last couple of minutes of this webinar. Hope you found it useful to really get that momentum going and to give you that confidence to invest a bit of time in planning for your live stream and making it as effective as is possible. So what are your next steps? I think that's practice. Look at the platforms that are out there. Look at what functionality that you need, as we've covered. Check your equipment. Make sure that you're ready to go. Make sure that you're feeling confident. Check that internet connection. Make sure it's strong enough for the things that you want to broadcast up and out. Your upload speeds, as I've mentioned before, are absolutely crucial. Now, if you do want to discuss this topic and any others, any digital challenges that you might have, go through to g.co/UK mentoring and book up a session, get an hour with a digital expert. So same myself and Kirsty are on there. We might well meet you. We can talk through these issues in detail for you and your business individually. So all that really remains me to say is thank you very much indeed for your time and attention. Maybe I'll be watching some of your live streams quite soon as well. Now leave us your feedback. That's goo.gul/digital garage feedback. And again, Kirsty will put a link in the chat for you to do that. We love to understand what you've thought of the session, how it's worked for you, how it's inspired you to move forward, and hopefully to create some great live stream sessions. As I say, who knows, might see you live on YouTube at some point too. So that's everything from me. And big thanks to Kirsty for being a fantastic moderator in the chat today. And hopefully we'll see you again soon on another Google Digital Garage training webinar. See you all very soon. Thank you very much and have a fantastic day. Thank you. Goodbye.